Part 3 provides that the enforcement of IP rights must be done by states that have signed that treaty. It also provides procedures and remedies for enforcing IP, right? The enforcement of IP rights must be done by states that have signed that treaty. Is this a ghost that is speaking? It also provides procedures and remedies for enforcing IP, right? Is it a counterfeit? Somebody is counterfeiting our own. So guys, sound people, please do it. That have signed that treaty. Yeah. Is this a ghost that is speaking? It also provides procedures and remedies. All right. You see the power of counterfeiters. They can even come and counterfeit my own speech. But luckily enough, we have done it. So the Anti-Counterfeiting Authority guarantees IP owners rights, serving as formidable trade union for innovation and creators. The authority has got dual responsibility, addressing the demand and supply sides of counterfeiting. On the demand side, we engage in public awareness campaigns, research, capacity building, and communication efforts to eradicate and also educate the public about the dangers and consequences of counterfeit goods. On the supply side, we conduct thorough investigations, enforce laws rigorously, and prosecute offenders, and utilize administrative actions such as compounding orders and other forms of alternative dispute resolution. What are some of the achievements that the authority has attained since its formation 14 years ago? Our efforts have yielded significant results. Since our inception, the authority has seized counterfeit goods worth over 4 billion Kenya shillings and registered approximately 444 court cases since 2010. Regarding administrative action, the authority has effectively utilized Section 34 of the Act, which empowers the executive director to issue compounding orders equivalent to High Court decrees. Since last year, February, this is when we started utilizing this particular section, we have concluded 205 cases, and we have issued 205 compounding orders. Innovation, as you all know, is a cornerstone of progress. As Albert Einstein once said, imagination is more than important than knowledge, for knowledge is limited, whereas imagination embraces the entire world. This sentiment echoes ACA's relentless pursuit of innovative solutions to enhance enforcement actions, making them more efficient, dependable, and reliable. And in this regard, we have been innovative, trying to digitize all our services. And this morning, we'll be launching the Anti-Counterfeit Integrated Management System, what we call AIM system, which we got aid from support from Trademark Africa. Let's clap for Trademark Africa, who are represented here today. So with support from Trademark Africa, we have developed the Anti-Counterfeit Integrated Management System, a digital system that represents a significant milestone in our fight against counterfeiting. I am delighted to inform you that it will be officially launched today by the representative of the of the Principal Secretary. It features critical modules, 4 modules: case management, depot management, importation module, and recordation module. And it's important to note, with the recordation, which also started in earnest in 2022, Kenya is one of the 4 countries in Africa to have introduced such a system, following the footsteps of South Africa, Algeria, and Mauritius. Intellectual property rights are deeply rooted in natural law theories, which assert that certain rights are inherent by human nature and can be understood universally through human reason. John Locke, a prominent philosopher, argued that every man has a property in his person. This nobody has allied but himself. Extending this to intellectual property, it is clear that creators and innovators have an intrinsic right of the fruits of their labor. Without respect of these natural law theories, there will be no incentives to innovate and bring solutions to our ever-changing world. We face emerging issues and tragedies such as epidemics, climatic change, and other global challenges. Intellectual property is a shield that protects the lower part of the pyramid from the predators of counterfeiting. It is the lifeline that sustains creativity and innovation, ensuring humanity can rise to meet today's and tomorrow's ever-emerging challenges. As part of ISIPPE-2 program, we are also going to be recognizing some of the key players who have shaped IP discourse. Tomorrow, we'll be having a dinner, and this initiative aims to recognize and honor media and other stakeholders for their outstanding contributions to protecting and promoting IP. And the award will celebrate the achievement of IPR owners, agents, law enforcement agencies, and journalists. In conclusion, the deliberations from the symposium will be compiled and presented as a policy briefs to our CS, fulfilling our mandate of advising her on matters of IP and counterfeiting. We will also disseminate the report to all IP ecosystem, including local, regional, and international players, ensuring that our collective wisdom informs and shapes future policies and actions. In conclusion, let me emphasize that respecting intellectual property rights is not merely a legal obligation. It is a moral imperative. As Horace wrote, many brave men lived before Agamemnon, but all are oppressed and wept and unknown in the long night because they lack a sacred poet. In innovation and creativity, countless individuals have ventured into uncharted territories, pioneering ideas and invention that have revolutionized their fields. However, like the many brave men who lived before Agamemnon, these innovators often remain oppressed and wept and unknown in the long night because they lack recognition and celebration. The modern equivalent of Horace's sacred poet could be the platforms, institutions, and communities like ourselves that highlight and honor these creative minds. Without recognition, even the most groundbreaking ideas can fade into obscurity. Much like the unheralded heroes of old, recognition and celebration are crucial because they honor the individual's contributions and inspire others to pursue their own creative endeavors. Thus, the actual failure in innovation is not just the absence of success, but the absence of acknowledgement. Just as the brave did before Agamemnon remained in the shadows due to lack of poets to sing their praises, so too do many modern innovations languish without the spotlight to bring them to the fore. It is the role of contemporary poets, that's our journalists, our historians, educators, and community leaders, to ensure that these creative efforts are not lost to the long night of anonymity. Without it, the incentives to innovate, to solve the pressing problems of our time would diminish. We must be vigilant, proactive, and united in protecting this right, for they are the keys to our collective future. Thank you, and I wish you all a productive and inspiring symposium. Thank you very much.
Bwana ED deserves a better hand clap. Ladies and gentlemen, just a couple of announcements. I am sure all of us have got smartphones, yeah? All of you have got smartphones, yeah? Okay, so we are live on social media pages. So hashtag ISIPPE-2 on Twitter, or rather Twitter, former Twitter, which is currently X, SCA_Kenya, formerly Twitter, X, SCA_Kenya. It is the same for Facebook, Instagram, and also I think LinkedIn. I'll get that right. Let me just repeat that we are very much live on social media pages. Hashtag ISIPPE-2 for X, it is ACA_Kenya. It is the same with Facebook and Instagram. Once again, thank you so much, Bwana ED. You've set the tone for this symposium, whose theme is Uniting Against Counterfeits for a Healthy and Safe Future. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to now call the next speaker, Ahmed Farah, Country Director, Trademark Africa. Please welcome.
Thank you, Modibo. Bwana Nobi Masharia, representing PS Industrialization. Dr. Robi Mbugua Njoroge, the ED for ACA. Board Chair, ACA Mheshimiwa Josephat Kebebea. Mr. Hara Shinichiro, Director for Japan Patent Office. Mr. Filippo Amato, the Head of Trade Section, EU Delegation. Mheshimiwa Edward Kwakwa, the Assistant Director General, Global Challenges and Partnerships, WIPO. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is my great honor and privilege to address you today at the launch of the Anti-Counterfeit Authority's Information Management System, AIMS 2.0, during this esteemed second International Symposium on Intellectual Property Protection and Enforcement, ISIPPE-2. This event coincides with the commemoration of the World Anti-Counterfeit Day, underscoring the global significance of our collective effort to combat anti-counterfeiting. Trademark Africa, formerly known as Trademark East Africa, is an aid for trade organization that was established in 2010 with the aim of growing prosperity through increased trade. TMA, as we fondly call ourselves, operates on a not-for-profit basis and is funded by, among others, Belgium government, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the Canadian government, Denmark government, the European Union, Finland, France, Ireland, the Netherlands, Norway, and the United Kingdom, and the United States of America. In 2018, TMA and the Counterfeit Authority signed an agreement to collaborate in several interventions, including the first ever national baseline survey to determine the extent, magnitude, and prevalence of illicit trade in Kenya. This initiative was launched in 2020. We also had the development of a national illicit trade observatory with the sole purpose of collecting data on seized goods, both from the public and private sector, to allow partner enforcement agencies to develop strategies to combat this vice. Trademark Africa is proud to have supported the development and implementation of AIMS 2.0 in partnership with the ACA, and with generous funding and unwavering support from the governments of the United Kingdom and Denmark. This collaboration exemplifies our shared commitment to fostering enabling environment for businesses, safeguarding intellectual property rights, and protecting consumers from adverse effects of counterfeit goods. Trademark Africa provided full funding of USD 1.5 million for this initiative. The scourge of counterfeiting poses a grave threat to economies, businesses, and consumer well-being worldwide. It undermines innovation, it erodes consumer confidence, and jeopardizes public health and safety. In Kenya alone, the economic losses due to counterfeiting affects various sectors, including pharmaceuticals, electronics, and consumer goods. Combating this menace requires a concerted and coordinated effort from all stakeholders, spanning from the public and private sectors, as well as international cooperation. AIMS 2.0 represents a significant milestone in our fight against illicit and counterfeiting. This cutting-edge system harnesses the power of technology to streamline the detection, reporting, and enforcement processes related to intellectual property rights violations. By integrating advanced features such as the Intelligent Quick Response Code, or QCR, systems, e-recordal systems for intellectual property rights, and robust case management capabilities, AIMS 2.0 equips ACA and its partners with the tools necessary to combat counterfeiting effectively and efficiently. The benefits of AIMS 2.0 are far-reaching and multifaceted. It has facilitated a significant reduction in time and cost associated with managing and administering IP rights violation cases, enhancing operational efficiency. Moreover, AIMS 2.0 fosters transparency, accountability, and information sharing among enforcement agencies, rights holders, consumers, and the judiciary. This collaborative approach not only enhances operational efficiency, but also strengthens public trust and confidence in the system. Over 70% of users acknowledge significant improvement in the convenience of the system compared to previous manual systems. The beneficiaries of AIMS 2.0 are diverse, ranging from businesses and intellectual property rights owners to consumers and general public. Businesses, both large and small, stand to gain from the enhancement protection of the intellectual property. Entrepreneurs and innovators can pursue their ideas with greater confidence, knowing that their creation are safeguarded. Consumers, on the other hand, will enjoy increased safety and confidence in their products and the purchases. Law enforcement agencies will benefit from streamlined operations and improved coordination, leading to more effective enforcement of intellectual property rights. I would like to commend the Anti-Counterfeit Authority for their unwavering commitment and tireless effort in spearheading this initiative. Their dedication to protecting intellectual property rights and upholding consumer safety is truly commendable. As we launch AIMS 2.0 today, let us renew our collective resolve to unite against counterfeit and work towards a healthy, safe, and prosperous future for all. Together, we can create an environment where innovation flourishes, businesses thrive, and consumers enjoy the utmost confidence in the products they consume. Trademark Africa remains steadfast in its commitment to supporting initiatives that provide and promote trade facilitation, economic growth, and consumer protection. We will continue to collaborate with our partners, both locally and internationally, to combat counterfeiting and foster an enabling environment for businesses to succeed. In closing, I would like to reiterate that the fight against counterfeiting is a collective responsibility. It requires the concerted efforts of government organizations and individuals. Let us continue to work together to build a future where intellectual property is respected, innovation is protected, and consumers are safeguarded from dangers of counterfeit goods. Thank you for your presence, and let us celebrate this momentous occasion with a renewed commitment to combating counterfeit and promoting intellectual property protection. Happy World Anti-Counterfeit Day. Thank you.
Another round of applause for Farah. from Trademark Africa. Thank you so much. We are trying also to recoup some time that we lost. So far, so good. Ladies and gentlemen, just to repeat the announcement earlier, for those with smartphones, and I assume all of us have got smartphones, we are live on our social media pages. It is also being streamed live, so you can be able to tune in. So therefore, for Twitter, it is, which is currently X, ACA_Kenya. Facebook is Anti-Counterfeit Authority. Instagram, ACA_Kenya. LinkedIn, it's Anti-Counterfeit Authority. And of course, as mentioned earlier, on YouTube, we are streaming live. I now want to take this opportunity and invite Honorable Josephat Kabea, the chair of ACA Board of Directors. Welcome, sir, and make your remarks. Thank you.
Thank you. The representative of the Office of Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Investment, Trade and Industry, representative from the Office of the PS, State Department of Industry, Dr. Robbie Bogwa, Executive Director of ACA, distinguished board members, CEOs of state corporations present, representative of Director and General of Fair Competition Commission of Tanzania, Mr. Harathi Nchiro, Director in Japan Patent Office, Mr. Filippo Amato, Trained Counselor, European Union Delegation to Kenya, Honorable Ndwandi Kwakwa, Assistant Director and General Global Challenges and Partnerships, World Intellectual Property Organization, WIPO, distinguished speakers and panelists, ACA staff members, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning once more. Good morning. Asante. Before I make my speech, I want to bring to your attention that there has been long court battles about the ownership of KICC. And yesterday there was a court ruling. And it was ruled that this building belongs to the government. So KANU were the counterfeits. Yeah? That was the ruling of yesterday. Welcome to the second edition of the International Symposium on Intellectual Property Protection and Enforcement. It is my distinct pleasure and honor to address you today. I would like to warmly welcome all the delegates who have traveled from near and far to attend this significant event. Your presence here is a testament to the importance of our mission and collective effort required to safeguard intellectual property rights. The Ministry of Investment, Trade and Industry has strategically directed the Anti-Counterfeit Authority. This support has been pivotal as we align our strategies with the mandates outlined in the Anti-Counterfeit Act, Section 5. This section stipulates our core function, which include creating awareness, combating counterfeiting,
devising training, capacity building programs, conducting inquiries and research into areas of counterfeiting, and advising the cabinet secretary on counterfeiting matters. In this regard, I am proud to say that the ACA is one of the unique entities in Africa with a specific mandate to enforce intellectual property rights. Recognizing this uniqueness, the board has approved and the management is now implementing the ACA's planned strategic plan for 2022 through 2027. This plan is premised on 4 critical pillars. Pillar number 1 is positioning ACA for influence. This pillar involves increasing our public engagement, including symposiums, to raise awareness and foster collaboration with various stakeholders. As a quote by IP scholar David Kapos reminds us, effective intellectual property protection is a key driver of economic growth and innovation. By positioning ourselves strategically, we aim to shape the future of IP enforcement in Kenya and beyond. And pillar number 2 is re-engineering IP enforcement for efficient service delivery. We are committed to enhancing our operational efficiency to ensure our enforcement activities are effective and timely. This involves adopting new technologies and methodologies to stay ahead of counterfeiters. And pillar number 3 is fostering data-driven research. Through research and data analysis, we can better understand the dynamics of counterfeiting. This has led to the conceptualizing and implementation of the International Symposium of IP Protection and Enforcement. We believe that knowledge is power, and by sharing insights and best practices, we can collectively improve our strategies and outcomes. And pillar number 4 is ensuring corporate sustainability. Finally, we are focused on ensuring ACA's sustainability, both in terms of financial viability and our ability to discharge our statutory and constitutional mandates continuously. This includes robust governance structures and sound financial management practices. Our mission is to enforce the law and create an environment where intellectual property rights are respected and protected. We understand that counterfeiting is a dynamic and evolving challenge that requires constant vigilance and adaptation. As part of our ongoing efforts, the ACA board will continue to engage with the cabinet secretary and advise her on emerging issues related to IP and anti-counterfeiting. This will be done through policy briefs and papers, informed by engagements and findings from forums like this symposium. In closing, I want to emphasize that the fight against counterfeit is a collective responsibility. As IP expert Francis Gary once said, the protection of intellectual property rights is an essential incentive for innovation. With your support and collaboration, we can make significant strides in protecting intellectual property and ensuring that innovation and creativity continue to thrive. Thank you once again for your presence and participation. Let us forge ahead with the determination and resolve to achieve our shared goals. And with those few remarks, I want to applaud our board members, and I want to recognize and appreciate the ones who managed to come to this conference. So I want to call upon the board members who are there. We have Mheshimiwa ISIPPE-2. Are you there? ISIPPE-2 ako wapi? Tumpigie makofi. And we have Mr. Chege Masharia. Chege Masharia, where are you? Makofi kwake. Na pia tuko na mzee Karanja Jora. Ako pande gani? Asante sana. And just before I stand, nataka kuwauliza kwa Kiswahili ya kwamba hii vita ya counterfeit, tutashindwa ama tutashinda? Ati mtashindwa? Ufanya mkono namna hii. Hivi, namna hii. Kofi, Hii vita ya counterfeit, tutashindwa ama tutashinda? Sijawasikia. Nauliza, hii vita ya counterfeiting, tutashindwa ama tutashinda? Vita ya kupigana na illicit trade, tuko chonjo ama tuko chonjo? Kama uko chonjo nionyeshe, sema chonjo. Tuko chonjo ama tuko chonjo? Asanteni sana. God bless you. Okay.
Natumai sisi wote tumekubaliana kwamba tutashinda hii vita. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the Kenyan French. I want to make the following announcements just before I call the next speaker to give us their remarks. Of course, after the launch, we shall have breakout sessions, and I would like to just alert the moderators and also the speakers in the interest of time. I want us to proceed as such when that time comes. Now, for breakout 1.1, according to your programs, this will be on authentication technologies in pharma and healthcare. This will be at the Impala room. And I'm sure the ushers who are around, you will be able to show the speakers and also the moderator and all those who will be participating in that discussion where this room is. And for those who are also interested, that is where you shall go. Breakout 1.2, which is around emerging technologies for traceability and authentication across sectors. This will be at Shimba Room. Shimba Room. And finally, 1.3, the breakout session. This will be on digital solutions in brand protection. This will be here at the amphitheater where we are. This will be at the amphitheater, and this will be just before we break for, or we can decide that we shall do this before we go for a health break, which according to your programs is 11:30. We shall see if that we are able to really keep that time. Now, please allow me to welcome the next speaker, the Director, Japan Patent Office, Mr. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, sorry for that. The chairman, I will exercise some delegated authority to just recognize one more director, Scholastica. Is Scholastica around? Scholastica, director from ACA, would like to recognize you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Do we have the next speaker? Hara Shinichiro, Director, Japan Patent Office. Do we have? Oh, please come and make your remarks. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mobido. Dr. Robi Mbugua Joroge, Executive Director, Anti-Counterfeit Authority. Mr. Ahmed Faha, Country Director, Trademark Africa. Honorable Josephat Kabebea, Chair, ACA Board of Directors. Mr. Filippo Amato, Head of Trade Section, EU Delegation to Kenya. Honorable Edward Kwakwa, Assistant Director General, Global Challenges and Partnership, WIPO. And Honorable Dr. Juma Mukwana, Principal Secretary, State Department of Industry of Kenya. Distinguished guests, dear participants, good morning to everyone. On behalf of the Japan Patent Office, it is a great honor for me to say a few words at the opening of the second International Symposium on Intellectual Property Protection and Enforcement. First of all, let me express my deepest condolences to all those who lost their lives in the floods in April, and my sincere sympathy to all those affected. As a resident of Japan, which is prone to earthquakes and other natural disasters, I pray for the speedy recovery of the affected areas. In Africa, Kenya is a favorite of Japanese industry. The number of Japanese companies operating in Kenya is the second largest in the sub-Saharan Africa. More than 70% of Japanese companies operating in Kenya said they plan to increase the number of local employees. With its large number of entrepreneurs, the relationship between Japan and Kenya is certain to grow. Kenya's openness and tolerance to foreign investment has led to a high level of trade and investment by foreign capital. One negative aspect of this, however, is the influx of counterfeited goods mixed in with original products. Counterfeits discourage technology developers and design creators, making it difficult for innovative ideas to emerge, thereby hindering a country's sustainable development. They also pose a health and safety risk to consumers, which is precisely the subject of this symposium. To nurture Kenyan entrepreneurs and to protect Kenyan consumers, both of our countries have to promote anti-counterfeiting measures while further facilitating trade and investment. And I believe this symposium provides a perfect opportunity to unite our effort to achieve our common goals. Last year, Kenya and Japan celebrated 60 years of diplomatic relations. And in February this year, Honorable President Mr. Ruto visited Japan and had a number of engagements, including a summit meeting with the Prime Minister and discussions with the Japanese companies. And it is said that half of the roses imported into Japan come from Kenya. We would like to work with the ACA and other Kenyan partners and to create a healthy soil for trade and investment so that our bilateral relationship, which reached a milestone last year, can further flourish as strongly as Kenyan roses. I appreciate your kind attention, and asante.
Pretty short. Thank you very much. We now want to listen to our second last speaker for this session, Mr. Filippo Amato, the head of trade section, EU delegation to Kenya. Karibu sana. I'm sure you know some bit of Kiswahili, sio? Asante. Karibu.
Dr. Robbie Bugwan Joroge, Executive Director, Anti-Counterfeit Authority, Honorable Josephat Kabiaba, Chair of the Anti-Counterfeit Authority Board of Directors, dear colleagues, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Please let me stand on existing protocols. First of all, on behalf of the EU Ambassador to Kenya, who unfortunately couldn't be here today due to another engagement, I would like to convey to the Anti-Counterfeit Authority of Kenya the warmest congratulations for organizing the second International Symposium on Intellectual Property Protection and Enforcement. The European Union recognizes intellectual property rights and their effective enforcement as a critical driver of innovation, economic development, and sustainable growth. That is why, through the ISIPPE project, the EU actively supports the consolidation of the IP systems and innovation landscapes across Africa. Counterfeiting and piracy, on the contrary, deprive the IP holders of their legitimate turnover, deters investment in innovation, and hampers the growth of national economies. Moreover, counterfeited products often do not comply with health and safety legislation, putting in danger the life of consumers. Counterfeiting is therefore not a petty crime. On the contrary, it often involves and sustains organized crime of a major scale. Ladies and gentlemen, while previously high-ended branded goods were the main target of counterfeiters, the latest trend is to copy ordinary consumer goods, even those as mundane as toothbrush or mineral water. The dimension of the problem is becoming important. For example, I am told that around 50% of specific brands of mobile phones in Kenya are fake, and I just bought one, by the way. I hope it's not fake. In beverages, these percentages can be even higher. And counterfeiters are getting clever, more and more clever. They are making extensive use of the internet, resulting in the distribution of fake goods with enormous speed and little geographical limits, making border measures less effective. The fight against IP crime therefore requires more and more a coordinated enforcement approach at the national, regional, and international level. Against this background, conferences like these are not only important, but are essential to allow policymakers and enforcers to identify innovative solutions to fight criminals, to protect investments, to protect innovation, and ultimately to protect consumers. Ladies and gentlemen, Kenya is a country that does a lot to combat IP crime. The existence of a unique and proactive agency, such as the Anti-Counterfeit Authority, is the best proof. As a result of ACA's efficient work, there is a high level of awareness in the country concerning the damage that fake goods do to the Kenyan economy and to Kenyan consumers. But Kenya and its authorities cannot do the work alone. As IP crime is transnational, more exchange of information is needed between police agencies and at the regional and international level. Interpol can help, but there is another organization on the continent that coordinates police action, AFRIPOL, Perhaps they could engage in IP crime prevention and help to make communication between police forces more fluent. Communication also needs to happen between right holders and enforcement agencies. Police forces often face a problem of lack of involvement of right holders. In Europe, to increase this communication, we have created a UIPO enforcement database. Perhaps this model could be replicated in other African jurisdictions. Finally, we also know that there is a problem of resources. The resources of our public administrations are limited, and this forces us to be innovative. We need to think about public-private partnership. We need to think about outsourcing some of our work, and we need to think about technological solutions, eventually involving artificial intelligence. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you will discuss this and many other topics today and tomorrow, and therefore I wish you a very fruitful debate, and I thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much. I would like to observe some protocols here for the next speaker, and please allow the chair of ACA Board of Directors to please come and invite our chief guest.
Thank you very much. Just before I invite our guest speaker for the occasion, I want to recognize Mr. Tobias from WIPO. Where is Mr.? You can stand so that we can see you. Makofi kwake. And now it's my pleasure to call one Mr. Nobi Masharia from the Office of the PS State Department of Industry to come and give your remarks. Thank you.
So thank you, Chair. Like you've heard, my name is Nobi Masharia. I'm here representing the Principal Secretary, State Department for Industry, Dr. Juma Muhwana, and of course, by extension, our Cabinet Secretary. They are together in a function that is very critical. They are meeting the Council of Governors this morning. So Honorable Josephat Kabeabea, Chair of the Anti-Counterfeit Authority, and probably because the pace has been set by Hara and Filippo in terms of their short speeches, since mine is written and it could be long, I'll try to read it very fast so that it looks shorter than theirs. Thank you. So Honorable Josephat Kabeabea, Chair of the Anti-Counterfeit Authority, Dr. Robi Mbugua Njoroge, Executive Director of the ACA, distinguished ACA board members, CEOs of state corporations present, Mr. Hara Shinichiro, Director, Japan Patents Office, Mr. Filippo Amato, Trade Councillor, EU Delegation to Kenya, Honorable Edward Kwakwa, Assistant Director General, Global Challenges and Partnerships, WIPO, distinguished speakers and panelists, ACA staff members, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning and a warm welcome to the vibrant city of Nairobi. I'm honored to address you today at this esteemed international symposium on intellectual property protection and enforcement, ISIPPE. I am delighted to host this gathering in Nairobi, a city that holds a special place in Africa as one of the capitals of the United Nations. Nairobi is renowned not only for its strategic importance, but also for its warm hospitality and a friendly people. And of course, its cosmopolitan spirit. Indeed, the city under the sun welcomes you all with open hands. Of course, I know today it has been a bit chilly, but that doesn't remove the fact that it is still a city under the sun. And I also need to mention that it's one of the capital cities where 14 kilometers away, you'll have gotten to the national park, and our national park. So for those who are coming outside of this country, it's important to take note of that. You're just 14 kilometers away from seeing the big five. Today's symposium is paramount as it addresses intellectual property protection and enforcement. Intellectual property rights foster innovation, creativity, and economic growth. As we delve into this subject, it is crucial to recognize the significant role of the State Department for Industry as a catalyst for industrialization. In Kenya, as in many parts of Africa, industrialization remains at the heart of economic empowerment and sustainable development. In the words of Kofi Annan, intellectual property is a crucial part of the global economy and has an important role to play in the economic and social development of all countries. This sentiment is echoed by many philosophers and thought leaders who recognize the transformative power of IP. For instance, Thomas Jefferson once said, "He who receives an idea from me receives instruction himself without lessening mine, as he who lights his taper at mine receives light without darkening me." This highlights the importance of sharing knowledge while protecting the creator's rights. The history of industrialization teaches us valuable lessons. The Industrial Revolution, which began in England in the 18th century, marked a significant turning point in history. It was characterized by the transition from hand production methods to machines, new chemical manufacturing and iron production processes, improved efficiency of water power, the increasing use of steam power, and the development of machine tools. This fundamentally changed the way goods were produced and had a profound impact on society. The Industrial Revolution did stop with the first wave. The second wave, occurring in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, saw the advent of steel, electricity, and the assembly line. The third Industrial Revolution, which began mid-20th century, introduced electronics, information technology, and automated production. Today, we stand on the cusp of fourth Industrial Revolution, characterized by a fusion of technologies that blur the lines between the physical, digital, and biological spheres. However, many developing countries, including those in Africa, still grapple with challenges reminiscent of the pre-first Industrial Revolution era. The gap between these nations and those that have advanced through successive Industrial Revolution is widening. This disparity underscores the urgent need for innovation and industrialization in developing regions. Challenges and opportunities. Despite these challenges, my State Department addresses them head-on with well-thought-out strategies. Our initiatives are designed to turn the tide for the benefit of Kenyan innovators. We aim to raise the manufacturing sector's contribution to GDP through targeted projects and innovative programs. Kenya is making notable strides in industrialization with a vision to elevate the manufacturing sector contribution to our GDP from the current 7.6, that is the most recent statistics from our Kenyan National Bureau of Statistics, to 15% by 2027, and ultimately to 20% by 2030. Those who have been looking at the general trend, I think we've been going down, but probably it's not necessarily that the contribution is low, but probably other sectors of the economy could be doing better than manufacturing. So we still have work to do. This ambitious goal will be achieved through targeted flagship projects and innovative programs. One such initiative is the County Aggregation and Industrial Park, which aims to boost manufacturing and agro-industrial investments, enhance agricultural sector competitiveness, create decent jobs, and increase exports and forex exchange earnings. The main objective of KIPE is to grow manufacturing and agro-industrial investment and sustainably enhance the agricultural sector competitiveness. This initiative aims to create inclusive and decent jobs, promote productivity at farm level, and increase business incomes, exports, and foreign exchange. Through KIPES, we are fostering a more resilient and diversified industrial base, position Kenya as a hub of innovation and industrial activity. These initiatives align seamlessly with IP protection and enforcement through the Kenya Industrial Property Institute and the Anti-Counterfeit Authority. Intellectual property protection is a cornerstone of fostering innovation and industrial growth. As we seek to raise the manufacturing contribution to GDP, we must ensure that our innovations and industries are protected from counterfeit challenges. Call to action. We must move beyond mere discussions and take concrete actions. The development of robust IP frameworks, the promotion of public awareness of the importance of IP, and the strengthening of enforcement mechanisms are crucial steps. We must also focus on capacity building for our local innovators and entrepreneurs, ensuring they have the necessary resources and support to protect their intellectual property. Significance of ISIPPE in Kenya. The significance of hosting this symposium in Kenya cannot be overstated. It is vital for several reasons. One, encouraging innovation. It is a clarion call for Kenya and other developing countries to deeply reflect on the importance of encouraging innovation. Many African countries are still in the first industrial revolution phase, while others have progressed through successive industrial revolutions. We must catch up and leapfrog into the future. Exploiting public domain patents. African countries must exploit the numerous patents available in the public domain, encouraging budding industries to innovate and build upon these existing technologies. Moving beyond theories, we must avoid theoretical approaches and excessive paperwork. Our university dons mantra should shift from publish or perish to innovate, industrialize, or perish. Investing in R&D, research and development, it is high time we put our money where it matters most. Investment in research and development within our local institutions is crucial for a sustainable industrial growth. Local industrialization. Our approach to industrial investment must shift. The notion that industrialization and technological transfer can only be achieved through support from developed countries is outdated. The industrial revolutions in America, Europe, and Asia were driven by their citizens. Our countries too will be developed by our own citizens. Let us remember that the journey to industrialization and economic empowerment is a collective effort. The future of Africa depends on our ability to innovate, protect our creations, and support our industries. By fostering a culture of innovation and robust IP protection, we can drive sustainable development and create a better future for all. Thank you, and once again, welcome to Nairobi. May this symposium be fruitful and pave the way for significant advancements in IP protection and enforcement in our region. Asanteni. Very well. I'm also reminded that it was also my duty to declare this symposium officially opened. Nipiwe makofi kwa hiyo.
Thank you so much. It has now been officially open. Just a couple of adjustments that we are making to the program in the interest of time, but also ensuring that we derive some value from these conversations. Before that, I would like to recognize Bernard Tobias from WIPO. Is Bernard Tobias from here, from WIPO, wherever you are? Very good. I have done my duty. Okay, so we will now proceed as we make preparations for the launch of AIMS. We will proceed to just watch a video link from Honorable Edward Quaker, Assistant Director General, Global Challenges and Partnerships from WIPO. And this is to give the team preparing for the official launch time to just prepare. Is the video link ready so that then we are able to save time and move to the next items?
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the World Intellectual Property Organization, I wish to extend a warm welcome to all of you to the second International Symposium on Intellectual Property Protection and Enforcement, which is organized by the Anti-Counterfeiting Authority of Kenya in cooperation with the Kenyan Ministry of Investments, Trade and Industry. As WIPO's Assistant Director General overseeing the global challenges and partnerships sector, I am delighted to deliver opening remarks for this important event. Under the title, Uniting Against Counterfeits for a Healthy and Safe Future, this year's symposium explores innovative strategies to tackle counterfeit goods in Africa across 4 key themes. 1, technology and innovation. 2, policy, regulation, and enforcement. 3, research and capacity building. And 4, education and engagement. So ahead of Saturday's World Anti-Counterfeiting Day, the symposium brings together experts and participants from different parts of the world and different professional backgrounds to continue the conversation on good practices to combat counterfeit goods and the importance of respecting intellectual property. Counterfeiting is a global issue that undermines economic stability. It compromises consumer safety, and it fuels organized crime. The economic losses are staggering. A study on global trade in fakes, published jointly by the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development and the European Union Intellectual Property Office, estimates that based on data for 2019, the volume of international trade in counterfeit and pirated products amounted to as much as 464 billion United States dollars. And this translates to 2.5% of world trade. The COVID-19 pandemic has made the situation even more complex. We have in fact seen a sharp increase in e-commerce, to which counterfeiters adapted extremely quickly. The pandemic created new opportunities for them and led to new international trade routes for counterfeit goods. Even this very brief overview of the problem underlines two particularly important aspects. First, counterfeiting is international. It affects all countries, irrespective of their state of development and trade in counterfeit products. To a large extent, crosses national borders. Second, it is dynamic. Counterfeiters are constantly adapting to shifting trends to profit from their illegal activities. But if we know that, it is evident that the fight against counterfeiting can only be successful if those who lead also coordinate at the international level and stay abreast of the newest trends. This is why international dialogue and cooperation on building respect for intellectual property is an important goal in WIPO's work. Our main forum for such international dialogue is the Advisory Committee on Enforcement, popularly called ACE. In this year's meeting, member states from around the world come together to exchange information and experiences in the areas of counterfeiting and piracy. The Anti-Counterfeit Authority, for example, participated in the 16th ACE session earlier this year and explained the decisive steps that Kenya has taken in recent years to protect and enforce intellectual property. The International Symposium on Intellectual Property Protection and Enforcement has the same objective of learning about new trends in counterfeiting, and WIPO is therefore delighted to support it. It is with great pleasure that we will provide more information on our work under the topics of legal frameworks and regulatory strategies, international cooperation, and online counterfeiting. In addition, the authors of 2 studies recently commissioned by WIPO will share the results of their work on online enforcement and e-commerce and consumer engagement programs. Where intellectual property is respected and enforced, it stimulates innovation and creativity, ensures fair competition, and it protects consumers from illicit and often hazardous products. Last year, the first International Symposium on Intellectual Property Protection and Enforcement represented a very important step towards that goal. It is crucial that we, as intellectual property professionals and enthusiasts, but also as responsible consumers, keep the momentum going and continue to collaborate, share insights, and develop strategies to combat counterfeiting and enforce intellectual property rights. I would like to express my gratitude to the Anti-Counterfeit Authority of Kenya for bringing us together once again, for providing the ideal platform to discuss these important issues, and for truly uniting us against counterfeits. The symposium is a great opportunity to effectively address the challenges ahead of us and to build a safer and healthier environment. This is essential for creators and innovators, for consumers, and for the African continent as a whole. Let us work together and take decisive action for a better tomorrow. I thank you all for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now coming to the end of the official opening session, the first part, whose climax will be the launch of the AIMS system, the Anti-Counterfeit Authority Integrated Management System. But before that, I just want to make also a couple of announcements for the directors and deputy directors from ACA. Once we have done the launch, if you're not participating in the breakout sessions, kindly, you may accompany the high table to the exhibition area so that then we are also able to appreciate what is happening there, and we are able to show the visitors the good work that ACA, working with other partners, is doing to really really tackle this particular menace. Number two, right after the launch, we were supposed to have our session one. Now, that will not happen for now in the interest of time, but we shall find a slot and see how we can proceed with that. Yes.
Thank you. Odibo, I wanted just to recognize my directors, the management. Daktari, you can be upstanding. Osman, Deputy Director. Mary, Deputy Director. Then we have, these are the directors. Tuwapigie makofi. Including Beatrice. You're also part of the team. They are the one who are behind this, and we appreciate all of you. Asanteni. Thank you.
Thank you. Another round of applause for the directors, the leadership of ACA, doing a great job. Okay, so I hope our team is ready. Are you ready for it? Okay, I would like to kindly request the high table to please proceed for the official launch of the Anti-Counterfeit Authority Integrated Management System. As I do that, I would just like to ask the team to please be ready for that as we continue with that. In the meantime, as they proceed down, Kayamba Africa, you can give us a number or two as they make that preparation and as we wait for the signal from the team to Kayamba Africa, just some 20, 30 seconds. I would also like to request the board members to please join them for the official launch of the AIMS. Kayamba, some 20, 30 seconds before we... Okay. Kidogo tu, are we ready?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
A round of applause. A round of applause. The rest you can stand. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We would like to take some photos. We'll start with the high table team, then we proceed to the board of directors, and finally the management. Before that, there is a video that is supposed to play, and then we shall proceed to the photo session in that order that I've announced.
We are pleased to announce the launch of the Anti-Counterfeit Authority Integrated Management System, AIMS version 2, founded by the UK's Department for International Development, DFID, through Trademark Africa, TMA. Initially, the system was basic and was designed based on a review of the Anti-Counterfeit Act and the subsequent regulations to operationalize it. AIMS version 2 builds on this foundation, addressing previous inefficiencies caused by manual systems. These inefficiencies led to delays and system lags that hindered effectiveness and efficiency. AIMS version 2 offers the following: efficient case management, which ensures transparency and accountability, improved chain of custody for seized counterfeit goods, enhanced tracking of imported goods through the IP recorder system, tools for differentiating between genuine and counterfeit goods, and a anonymous platform for intelligence sharing to enable targeted investigations, integration with other trade systems for intelligence-led operations, and finally, business intelligence improvements for better data quality, efficiency, and reporting. Currently, two key modules are in use: the recordation of intellectual property rights, IPR, and the case and depot management system. These modules streamline operations and support the fight against counterfeiting. We invite the public and stakeholders to utilize AIMS version 2, marking a significant advancement in protecting intellectual property rights and ensuring trade integrity.
Thank you so much. The clap to that. Now, as the photo session continues, I would like that the rest of us may now proceed to the breakout rooms, as I'd announced earlier. For those going for the authentication technologies in pharma and healthcare, kindly proceed to Impala room. For those proceeding to emerging technologies for traceability, or rather for those who are interested in the emerging technologies for traceability and authentication across sectors, you may proceed to Shimba room. And finally, for the digital solutions in brand protection, this will take place here, where we are at the amphitheater. Digital solutions in brand protection will be here at the amphitheater. For those interested in the emerging technologies for traceability, you may proceed to Shimba room. And for those interested in authentication technologies, you proceed to Impala room. I would kindly ask the moderator to please assist me in this, and also the speakers. Let's keep time so that then at 11:30 sharp, we break for tea or coffee or milk or juice, whatever you like. Kindly, let's observe time. In the breakout sessions, we ensure that we finalize by 11:30 a.m. for the health break, so that we can give the other breakout sessions 2 time also to derive some value from the conversations. Once again, even as the photo session continues, I would like to ask the moderators and the speakers to kindly assist me in time management and have that those who are interested in the different sessions that I've mentioned to please proceed, even as the photo sessions are continuing. Authentication technologies in pharma, healthcare, Impala Room, emerging technologies, Shimba Room, digital solutions here at the amphitheater. Thank you very much. So after the directors of the board members, we may proceed now to the management. In the meantime, Kayamba, you may give a number or two. Thank you. Kayamba, tuendelee hata ukipigwa picha, sisi tuendelee na mziki. If you do not mind, kindly, the room wants to be used for a session. I would kindly request.
Hello. Hello. We request that the interviews be carried on at the media center, which is set up, Tom. Kindly move with the guests. Kindly move with the guests. Those of us remaining here, please let's have this session. Those of us remaining here is session 1.3, and it is on digital solutions in brand protection. Kindly, Tom, lead the VVIPs to where the media interviews are supposed to be. Help us to manage time. Kindly, Chair Muiruri, help us get the delegates to the media interview point. Let's have this session started. Lindsay, you don't have as much time, so you must start your session. Henry, please ensure that the colleagues who are joining us online have been activated. Let's try and manage time so that the rest of the sessions do not spill over again. Thank you so much. Asante sana. Lindsay, please take over and manage the session. Asante.